Welcome, ladies and gents. Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter, or of course you can subscribe to the channel. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk about Oleksandr USYK ahead of the Anthony Joshua rematch. Has Oleksandr USYK inadvertently revealed a chink in the psychological armour as he prepares for Anthony Joshua? Something that might play into the hands of AJ. Now, long-time subscribers will know that 10 months ago I made a video on Oleksandr USYK where I observed his life away from the sport. And I looked at his history and what makes this man who he is psychologically. What his human psyche is all about, and how perhaps that helps shape the perfect mentality for a fighter. And we asked, is it even possible to get to this guy? 16,000 views that video reached, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you guys that takes the time to watch and comment. Whether we agree or disagree, we always keep it polite, and I love engaging with you guys, and I want to thank you once again. But now let's consider this. Has he revealed something more recently without meaning to? Well, first and foremost, when the first fight took place, USYK put on a boxing masterclass, particularly in those last 4 rounds where he really pulled away. And in that final round, he had Anthony Joshua seriously hurt. And people were still critical. This is the nature of the beast. People will always find something to criticize. And one of the things that he was challenged on is whether he was able to knock Anthony Joshua out. Why couldn't you knock him out? He was tired. He was dead on his feet. You had clearly established the upper hand. Why were you unable to get AJ out? Is it true that you just can't punch at heavyweight? Are you always going to be this boxer at heavyweight? And USYK responded by saying, why are you so bloodthirsty? There is victory. Everything is fine. Why is it necessary for a person to fail? He has relatives, friends, a mother and a father. This is a big chunk of health if a person fails. And I'm not for that. I had no objective to knock him out because my trainer in my corner told me not to. Now, when you fast forward to the build up to this fight, we see a real contradiction in Oleksandr USYK's position. He gave an interview with Parry Match whereby he was asked about that last round. And this time he says if there was another 30 seconds or another minute in the 12th round, Anthony would have been knocked down. But I don't think about it anymore because it's just guessing. It happened as it happened. I boxed 12 rounds and I won. Now, at face value, this is a contradiction which many people might not put too much stock in. But I find it a lot more interesting, and I think it's a lot more revealing than a lot of people might realize. And here's why. What happened the last time Oleksandr USYK's punching power was questioned? Take a little look at this clip.
And let's not forget, I have the one thing that he doesn't have, and that's a punch that can switch lights off within the blink of an eye.
And he says he has the one thing that you don't, and that's the power, the punch power. How do you answer that?
He's kidding. We will soon see, my friend. We will soon see.
Now you tell me whether Oleksandr USYK was thinking about Tony Bellew's mother or father, his kids, or his wife, who was ringside, by the way. And she got into a little bit of trouble because she went on a tirade at somebody who asked some inappropriate question or said something inappropriate about Tony Bellew, because obviously it's a very traumatic experience for a wife. It's a horrendous thing to see. She's there ringside. She sees this man that she loves being knocked out in such brutal fashion. And it obviously got to her. USYK wasn't concerned, and rightly so, because boxing is a dangerous sport. Tony Bellew wouldn't have been concerned if it was the other way around. You get a guy into trouble, you have to end the fight. What happens if later on he lands something big on you and you're the one that's hurt? So I don't hold this against Oleksandr USYK, but it shows that this line of his mother was there, his father was there, his family, his friends, his relatives. I don't want to do that. It's not my objective to make somebody fail like that. That's just bluster, clearly. But the question is, why would he say that? I want to give you an analogy. I want you to imagine that we're not talking about elite level boxing. We're not talking about elite level fighting. What we're now talking about is a school playground. You've got 2 kids in a year and they're about to have a fight. One of them is known as the hardest kid in the school. And the other one, yeah, he can handle himself, but he's not really feared in the same way. They decide they need to settle their differences outside of school. They have a punch up. The teachers come out and break the fight up. When they do, all the kids look at each other and say, wow, man, the kid that was known as the hardest kid in the year, the one who was the top dog, he actually didn't win that fight. The other guy got the better of him. He landed more punches. He's actually the real top dog. Then you have another crowd, and that crowd saying, well, yeah, I mean, he landed a lot more punches. He got the better of him in that regard, but he could never really hurt him, man. He's a smaller dude. He ain't knocking him out. If that was a fight whereby teachers didn't run out to break it up, if they didn't run out of time, nah, man, the other guy would have won. He would have found a way. He's the tougher man. So the kid that won the fight hears this, and suddenly his ego's popping off. This fight occurred over a girl, and now they're questioning him. He can't handle that. He wants to win that girl's approval. So what they've decided to do is they're going to end this once and for all. They're going to fight at the end of the year. Last day of school where they can't get expelled anymore. They're going to go to the tarmac, five-a-side pitches at the back of the school. They're going to settle their differences, fist to fist, mano a mano. Well, here's the thing. During that time, this kid starts to pump weights. He's looking bigger and bulkier than ever before. Because in his mind, if he can get more physical strength, if he can bulk up with bigger muscles, he can be more powerful and more destructive. And maybe that will enable him to actually knock out this kid that was considered the hardest kid in the school. So now people aren't going to be able to say anymore, well, maybe you don't really have the punching power. You just had a lot more stamina. You were faster. You outworked the guy. And then the teachers turned up. No, now I'm going to put him to sleep on the tarmac. And I'm going to prove that I am who I am by shutting everybody up. Before we come back to that analogy, Oleksandr USYK has clearly bulked up. I did another video which has also reached 7,900 views. Once again, I thank you guys so much for all your support. In this video, we speak about Oleksandr USYK bulking up and what this might mean for the rematch. Does this play into the hands of Anthony Joshua? The fact that USYK is clearly looking bigger, more bulked. Is he going to have less speed? Is he going to have less mobility? Is he going to have less stamina? Does this help AJ? Well, one of the reasons this is important to ask is because is Oleksandr USYK the guy that's trying to prove the other school kids wrong? He wants to prove that I could have knocked this guy out if I wanted to. And if so, doesn't that show a level of vulnerability, a chink in the armour, so to speak, psychologically? A chink that could play into the hands of Anthony Joshua, who wants USYK to turn up and trade and fight because he knows the best chance he has is to go blow for blow. So if I can start to question the masculinity of this man, the machismo, he can't knock me out, he can't hurt me. Maybe that's more likely to get him to want to prove people wrong, to prove that he's a top dog in the school, to prove that he can stand toe to toe and hurt me. After all, one could argue that Anthony Joshua made the same mistake in the first fight. Wasn't Tyson Fury saying he's a big stiff idiot that can't box? And so Anthony Joshua said post-fight that he made the error of seeking to box with Oleksandr USYK. Is that what we're going to see here? USYK making the same mistake but in reverse. People saying you couldn't knock AJ out. You're not a puncher. So he's bulking up to look to prove to the world that he can do what people say he can't do. That he wants to deliver this fight for free for his people in his nation. And so he needs to really turn up and deliver and make it memorable. And rather than win the fight on points, he wants a stoppage win to lift the spirits of the public. And if so, is he falling into a trap? Or is this different? Is there a flip side to that coin? And Oleksandr USYK is simply a different animal. And he's going to come in, yes, bulked up, yes, more destructive, but all within the realm of his capabilities. Is he going to be no longer playing with his food, but a predator looking to devour Anthony Joshua? A predator that looks more ferocious than ever and will get the stoppage win and make history. Let me know what you think about this, ladies and gents. As always, I appreciate your time. I thank you for watching. Please don't forget to land a stiff jab on that like button, a right cross on the subscribe button, and an uppercut on the notifications button. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care and God bless.